Shopify could soon be integrating with ChatGPT search. According to Media Post, recent code discovery suggests that OpenAI is preparing to transform ChatGPT into a direct shopping platform through Shopify integration. OpenAI has quietly added lines of code to ChatGPT that indicate direct shopping functionality. Rather than simply adding affiliate links, the code suggests a deeper integration that would enable ChatGPT users to complete purchases without ever leaving the platform. The uncovered code indicates features including product pricing displays, shipping information fields, buy now options, and embedded checkout buttons, essentially transforming the AI chatbot into a comprehensive shopping interface. The model appears designed to allow Shopify to directly populate ChatGPT with relevant product suggestions based on user conversations, creating a seamless shopping experience that keeps users within the ChatGPT ecosystem. Luis, we're talking about moving the needle technology right now. This is definitely one of those headlines. How scared should people like Google be in this by this ChatGPT and Shopify integration?
Very. I mean, the
Yeah, very.
obviously AI is a revolution, right? It's impacting it's going to impact all sectors of the economy. It's impacting our lives at many different levels.
Right.
And it's, maybe some slightly frightening, but very exciting at the same time with all everything that can be done. And one big question, obviously, is where is the value going to lie in the value chain?
Right.
Who are going to be the winners? And that's true within the technology players, the ones who are actually building the algorithms. Is it going to be a commodity? Is OpenAI tomorrow going to be displaced in its leadership by the other players, Google including DeepSeek and many others? That's a big question. And the second question is how exactly is it going to impact, in our case here, corporate America
Right.
and consumer? And a lot of the CEOs and executives that I talk to about these topics, they're still in the consumer space, still scratching their heads on where is the impact going to lie? How does it really transform my company? How quickly? And what should I do?
Right.
And, and that's from how do you hit corporate America and how are you a winner? If you look at the Shopify integration, that's more from the technology standpoint and the offer. Is it going to be a winner takes all? Where ChatGPT, once they start offering that functionality and become a one-stop shop where you can actually buy from your app and
Hmm.
do all of the functions that you typically go on Google for, does that make Google obsolete
Right.
on the online e-commerce shopping world? So if I'm Google, I'm scared.
Right, right. I mean, it's like the search. I feel like we're back when like Google came online and it was Bing and Google and
Yep.
Netscape and like all these things, really. Like it's like the search is starting all over again. And it's really anyone's game because once you start getting integration, I mean, we heard at Shop Talk from Sean Scott, the head of Google Shopping, who was like already, we're seeing engagement happen in Google, and Google's not a retailer, but they're facilitating all of these shopping transactions. I think like 20% of Lens searches, he said, are already ending in a commerce transaction. So it's so interesting because it's going to be who do you go to for your problem solver? Is it Perplexity? Is it ChatGPT? Right? Is it Google Gemini? And or Amazon even like we heard a couple of weeks ago where you can go in there and transact fully just by sending in one request. I'm curious, Luis, because I talked about to several retailers last week about this. Are those CEOs in these retailers and brands, are they taking any steps forward right now to kind of prepare their products to be showing up in these types of search engines, or do you think that they're still it's still in its infancy?
Still in the infancy.
Okay.
And you're going to see, I mean, a lot of those CEOs are thinking, how do I gain a competitive advantage?
Right.
So the ones who are more bold and, take more risk or are more visionary or are able to focus out of, the day-to-day grind into projecting into the future, they're trying to get into the AI revolution in a much faster way and much
Right.
bolder. But they still don't know where to focus the energy because
Right.
you can only do so much, right?
Right.
So is being present on the future ChatGPT Shopify, is that, should that be your focus, or are you continuing to do what you're doing, trying to optimize the day-to-day business? So those
Right.
are strategic questions of how they allocate their resources, and there's not a clear-cut answer on that yet.
Right. Yeah. Jeff, I assume you're hearing a lot from the clients that you're working with as it relates to this too, and where it makes sense. I mean, I feel like it's still kind of like a in the R&D kind of category for some retailers, but
Yeah.
maybe going to require that they move much more quickly. What are you seeing, Jeff, with your clients?
Yeah, it's mostly confusion around
Okay.
how this is actually going to all kind of end. I do believe this is going to be faster than a 10 cart rollout on a digital shopping cart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will see a lot of bets being placed. Capital is already being allocated to huge tech investments in trying to be that differentiator, as Luis mentioned. Um, and trying to get that competitive advantage, you're gonna see some pretty interesting things coming. Not in the next 2 to 3 years. You're talking next probably 2 to 3 quarters.
Right.
And I think it'll be positive, mostly from just a consumer experience, but from a retail experience, it could be a huge unlock to either access new customers or actually even save on the amount of money that they're placing with overall marketing spend. So
Right.
um,
Right.
it'll be interesting to see.
Companies need to start to have an answer, even just from an investor communication standpoint. You're seeing more and more on earnings calls. The question from analysts, how are you preparing for the AI revolution? What are you doing? What actions are you taking? So there's a pressure as well from investors to get ready for this revolution.
Right, absolutely. And Chris, I mean, what would you be doing if you were Google right now, or how would you be feeling? How would you be
Well,
rallying the troops?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think what I take away from this conversation really is I think Luis's point about, how do CPG, the thing I started thinking about the most in this conversation is like, how do CPGs view this announcement versus retailers? If I'm a CPG, I don't think I'm paying too much attention to this because I think my
Hmm.
job is at the end of the day is to develop good products and make sure they're available for the people. And so I don't think, how people transact in those is really going to impact the CPGs all that much down the line, or at least I have trouble seeing it. I think there's advantages that they can take advantage of Gen AI for different use cases, but I'm not too worried about, the advent of the impact on this for them. But for the retailers, to Jeff's point, it's just incredibly disruptive.
Hmm.
And then going back to the question at hand of, how scared should Google be or what should Google do? I mean, I think at this point, as I sit back, I think everybody's scared of everybody at this point
Hmm.
because you throw agentic AI into the mix, which this isn't even about yet in the core of this headline. And it's going to be hard to know who is actually powering what at the end of the day, right?
Right.
Like all these things could be working together and no one knows what's going on. You don't know your arm from your elbow. So, and the idea of like user search here being what powers this too, that's in some ways so old school now when you bring in agentic AI. And that's the crazy thing about that, to Jeff's point too, is that's 2 years old at this point.
Yeah.
So like it's just amazing to me how fast all of this is changing, and the average retail CEO, not CPG CEO, but the average retail CEO likely has no idea what is likely going to hit him or her here over the next 5 years, and
Right.
it's gonna be crazy to watch. I mean, that's why you and I were talking yesterday too. Like this is the most important headline of the week, like of the
Hmm.
five. This one by far and away in terms of the impact on retail overall over the next 10 years. The movement in this direction continues to be something we got to keep on top of.